Welcome back to another episode of Cinema Society Saturday on a Sunday because, well, life happens. And I'm Gus from Askewed Reviews. Now, if you don't know what Cinema Society Saturday is, this is where a group of us who absolutely love horror movies have all come together. We each week are randomly given a theme. We then partner up, give our partner a movie that fits within the theme, and then we review that film for all of you. As for this week's theme, you'll know what it is as long as you watched the original. Oh, wait, you didn't? Oh, that's right. That's because this week's theme is sequels. What's funny is, technically, the theme for this week wasn't actually sequels. You see, one of the themes on our spinning wheel of options is winner's choice. So, one of our members of the group, whenever it lands on this, is randomly chosen, and they get to choose whatever theme they want for that upcoming week. And this time around, it was Alexis who chose sequels. And for this week's theme, my partner was Lo. She's one of our newest members, and you can also find her under Halloween Queen or It's Low D. If you're not already following her, you definitely should go and do so. She has some really fun content about different horror movie reviews or even horror collectibles, so check out her stuff when you get the chance. So, for this week's theme of sequels, one of the kind of rules we put in place is that it can't be a remake. However, though, Lo managed to cheat a little bit, and I'm glad that she did because now I got to review one of my favorite horror movies of all time, which is Evil Dead 2, the 1987 film directed and co written by Sam Raimi. Now, technically, yes, this is a remake, but because they called it Evil Dead 2, due to that technicality, it is the sequel to the first film. Trust me, if you go around and check out some of the other reviews for this week, there are other films that also don't technically fit into the category of a sequel, but due to whatever reasoning, they do actually work. So if you've never seen this film before, I will say this. One, I'm a little bit ashamed, but two, I'm also happy because then you'll get the opportunity of watching this film for the very first time. If you haven't seen this before, let me tell you a little bit about the concept, because this might end up being the next thing you watch for spooky season. So the film starts off with us meeting two Michigan State University students, Ash Williams and his girlfriend Linda. Now they're heading out to the woods just to have some private time all to themselves. So the cabin that they're staying at one point was owned by Professor Noby and his wife Henrietta, but it's been abandoned and there's been no sign of either of them for quite some time. We begin to find out that Professor Noby was studying the occult, more specifically, the Book of the Dead, known as the Necronomicon. Ash ends up finding a tape recorder that actually has the professor reading some of the passages from this book. And of course, as you know from most horror movies, you don't read the Latin out loud. So, because the recording is played, a malevolent evil that exists in the woods begins to reappear and at one point even possesses Linda. Horrifying things begin to start happening, and eventually Ash even has to make a terrible choice. Ash's night is only beginning from there, as now a group of individuals, two of which who actually have a connection to this cabin, show up and they are all now thrust into this demonic, nightmarish type situation. So, will any of them survive the night, or will they all be dead by dawn? This is absolutely one of my favorite horror movies of all time. It does such an amazing job of blending together really horrific moments with a lot of great comedy. If by any chance you're also a big fan of movie trivia, you can look up my previous trivia reviews that I did for all of the Evil Dead movies and learn a lot more about this film. Additionally, I still 100% agree with the score that I gave this film last time, which is a 5 out of 5. Now, I own this film and all of the other Evil Dead movies, but if you'd like to watch it for yourselves, it is currently streaming for free on HBO Max. Now, once more, I am going to point out definitely go and start following Lo. She has some really fun content, and let's see if we can get her up to 2,000 followers as quick as we can. And of course, another good reason to go and check out Lo's stuff is so you can watch the movie that I gave her to review, the 1990 film Troll 2, which is another movie that technically fits into the sequel category, even though it really doesn't. So I hope you enjoyed my review of Evil Dead 2, and if you'd like to see what everyone else did for their sequel reviews, just look up the hashtag Cinema Society Saturday.